mean, there's a lot of those sequels though that people are like, this is better than the original, and we go back and like, you're not a huge Bad Boys 2 guy.
No.
I think Terminator 1 is probably better than T2.
Yeah. Was Aliens considered better than Alien?
There's a lot of people who say that. Like people who like Aliens say it's the best movie of all time.
That's crazy. Predator 2 is another one that people, because it's like in the quote unquote like urban jungle, people love like.
I've never heard anyone say Predator 2 is better than Predator.
Really?
Really?
Because I don't agree with that, but I've heard it.
Interesting.
It's whack because everybody knows Predator 2018 is the best one. You good?
It's just such a dirt movie, dude.
It was bad.
It's like impossible to remember. You know what I remember of Predator?
What do you remember from Predator?
That the last line from that lead actor is like him doing a catchphrase that he hasn't done in that entire movie.
What?
Do you remember? So Predator, they leave tech on Earth, and it's called like the hunter-killer suit or something like that.
That's dumb.
And they put it on, and it turns into a suit, and they're like, what is that? And then the main character, who's not Joel Kinnaman...
The other one.
It's the other one.
He goes,
that's my new suit, Bubba. And then it cuts to credits. And I'm like, he hasn't been saying Bubba in the whole movie.
Was he Southern?
Not really.
That was just Bubba to him. He found his Bubba.
That
one scientist was his Bubba.
I don't know what it was. It supposed to be like going forward, the character was going to be cracking jokes or whatever?
Oh, if this got a sequel, if The Predator 2.
It's definitely sequel bait, because I think the idea is it's a predator suit designed to give to humans to fight other predators.
Okay, but like Predator versus Predator is boring.
Yes.
I want my pirate Predator. I want my samurai Predator. I want that samurai Predator movie so bad.
I want pirate Predator, dude. Like 1700s, just like yar, and then a predator swings in.
God. You could put the Predator in so many cool locations, except space. I don't fucking care when the Predator's in space.
The whole point is it's incongruous with its surroundings.
What if The Thing, but it's a Predator running around in the snow?
Yeah.
At like an Antarctic
Alien versus Predator. Alien v Predator.
Is that what that is?
It takes place in Antarctica.
Damn, I can't believe they wasted my incredible idea on a dirt dog movie.
The Predator loves a black woman.
All right, but what about in the movie?
I'm not even. Have you seen AVP?
No.
He lets a woman live. He sides with her. He falls in love.
The Predator could never love a human woman.
He can only love a human man. Is that the implication?
Yes.
Okay.
If you told me he said that about
Joel Kinnaman. This is our next movie we're pitching. Gay VP.
Gay VP. Gays versus Predator.
Your body rejected the idea.
I had like a tickle in my throat.
Mm-hmm. That's the subtitle for Gay VP. He'll put a tickle in your throat.
New tonsillectomy discovered.
His spiny penis.
Exactly.
Are his pubes dreads?
Only one way to find out. We gotta get.
If the dogs have dreads,
we gotta get his hunter killer pants off.
He's wearing like mesh. He's got fishnets on, dude.
Predator would go wild at Pride.
Killing, maybe.
Yeah.
He'd be like scanning, for which.
All he's scanning is nipple rings.
Yeah.
He's trying to see if any nipple rings are a threat to him.
And he's registering it as armor. And dildos as weapons, and he just starts blowing away. We can make this movie. We'd look homophobic.
He's scanning all the butt plugs and anal beads as hidden weapons.
Calling all extras on backstage. I need you to dress up gay and get murdered for my not homophobic gay VP fan.
It's just 2 hours of the Predator killing gay people. No hero comes. There is no human character to root for.
No hero comes.
The whole press tours were not homophobic.
It's just funny. It's just a joke.
We started with the title and worked backwards.
We're not the only thing working backwards at Pride.
Jesus. It's early.
It is.
It's too early
It
for
is.
this.
I woke up just early enough to be homophobic.
But not early enough to be racist.
No, you gotta catch me late in the evening with that.
It's like sunset when the moon is out.
I go,
racist.
I have a big, like, old man study with a big cushy chair and a fireplace, and I sit down like, time for racism. We need to get into it.
Well, because like I feel like I've been setting up a lot of like Alien Predator. Like this would be a good lead. We're not talking about Alien Romulus.
No.
We're not talking about Alien Romulus.
We're not talking about aliens or predators.
God.
We're talking about birds.
Birds! Okay. No, I'm here. I'm here.
You're here?
I'm here.
All right. You want to do the lead?
No, but I will anyway. Welcome to another episode of KAFM. That's Kill All Film Majors. I'm Duncan.
And I'm John.
And today we watched Birds.
For the second time.
Yeah, is this our first sequel episode?
I think so.
What a dog water sequel episode. We could have done like Blade or Twilight or something. Blade 2 would have been awesome. Instead, we watched one good movie and one movie in theaters. You look upset.
The two movies are a sequel to an old episode we did. Old, I know, it was a couple weeks ago. Chicken Run 2.
Dawn of the Nugget.
That's right. And The Crow, no subtitle.
With Bill Skarsgard, FKA Twigs.
Some other people.
I can see the bad guy.
Danny Huston.
Yeah.
He's in other stuff. He's like a character actor. He like pops up in things. He's good in things.
Yeah.
He's even good in The Crow-ish.
That's how I would describe most things in The Crow. It's good-ish. It's not enough to make a movie.
Unfortunately, we're not talking about The Crow first.
Fine.
We did it last time. This time it's for me. We're leading with Chicken Run 2.
Dawn of the Nugget. You look so tired. Come on, you just woke up, Bubba.
If you remember my opinion of Chicken Run 1.
You didn't get it.
I didn't get it. I didn't like it, but I was open to the fact that I just missed the point. And if I thought an expansion of the Chicken Run story would help me, it didn't. I put this shit on Netflix, and I just stared at the screen.
Did you absorb anything?
No, I didn't absorb a goddamn thing.
All right, so Chicken Run 2, Dawn of the Nugget.
Are we gonna do this every time?
Yeah, because it's funny. We open on a small little island where the first movie ended. So the first movie about getting away from humans, getting away from the chicken farm. They settled on this little island in a lake, very A Bug's Life, and
I haven't seen that.
that's also where the bugs live, is just like on a little secluded island.
Really?
Yeah.
I think bugs live anywhere.
Correct.
Do the bugs fight humans in A Bug's Life?
No.
Okay.
I don't think there's any humans in A Bug's Life.
It's really funny to put them on an island then. Why does it matter? They live in dirt. Like they just like a bug's entire life happens in 12 inches of square space.
So we open on the little island where it ended, and we have a little flash forward montage of a few months. I don't know how long it takes an egg to gestate, hatch, and for a chicken to grow, because we see...
Is that how it opens? Is there not like a previously on Chicken Run?
No, because it's drip fed through trauma flashbacks at certain points in the movie.
This sequel came out like 20 years later, right?
Yeah, this movie came out last year. And this movie came out 23 years later. This movie came out last year, and the original was 2000.
And the original had Mel Gibson.
The original had Mel Gibson, and the sequel replaced with Zachary Levi. And I can't remember.
I can't tell the difference. They sound the same to me, to be honest.
Yeah. It's okay. I can't remember either women that voiced the main character, Ginger.
British.
Well, because they didn't bring Mel Gibson back for obvious reasons, and they didn't bring back the original actress who played Ginger because she, quote, got, like, too old. Like her voice wasn't it anymore, but they brought back everybody else.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, everybody that was still alive, because I think the old guy who played the old rooster, Fowler,
Yeah.
he had passed away, so they got David Bradley.
Who's, I don't know, is that a name?
Have you seen the Harry Potter movies?
Some amount of them at points in my life.
He's the groundskeeper, Filch. He's the old...
Okay.
Yeah, the old groundskeeper guy. But they brought back everybody else. Like Imelda Staunton, all of the like extra hens and stuff were all voiced by the same people.
I would be pissed if I was the lead in a movie and then you make a legacy sequel and you bring back everyone else below me, but like everyone else build under me, and then like, by the way, you're Zachary Levi now. Or like you're some other British woman. I would be ranting and raving. I'd be doing my own chicken movie as revenge.
Chicken Run: The Revenge.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like $12 is your budget for a whole stop motion feature.
And I don't know how to do claymation, so just me furiously beating Play-Doh.
It is just like Play-Doh brand.
I'm making little chickens and squashing them. I am king.
God, Mel Gibson with one of those jumbo jars of Play-Doh in one hand and a beer in the other.
Well, that'd be awesome. Actually, you know what? I would say it was cancel culture. I'd get like Epoch Times on board to fund the movie. I'd get my own little like red carpet, like the Reagan red carpet.
Oh man,
Did you see
that movie's doing weirdly well.
Weirdly well. That's like I expected it.
It's from what I've heard, it's extremely self-congratulatory and extremely like rose-tinted glasses to the Reagan administration.
Yeah, it's a movie about standing up, saluting, and then getting on your knees and licking the boots of that motherfucker. Like,
disgusting.
Stars one of the Quaids who's gone crazy.
It stars the one that I didn't think was crazy.
He was crazy. So the other one's crazy. He's just like that type of crazy.
Yeah.
Good old days where men were men and women shut up. Like that type of crazy.
He was great in Enemy Mine. What?
There's got to be so many more famous movies he's in that he's good in.
I liked Enemy Mine.
Okay, I haven't seen it because, of course, why would I?
True. Like I don't like when I think of Dennis Quaid, I think of that movie.
Go tell him that so he can punch you in the stomach.
I hate Ronald Reagan and I love Enemy Mine.
You have so many guns drawn at you at the Reagan premiere.
Don't worry, I'll make up for it by kissing his son.
He's in Scream.
Is he?
Mm-hmm.
Jack Quaid's a handsome guy.
That's how I learned about him.
Through handsomemen.com?
No, through Scream.
Oh.
I was responding to myself. I ignored you.
Aw.
So Dawn of the Nugget.
Dawn of the Nugget. Yeah, so we have this flash forward. They start a little family. Ginger and Rocky, the two main characters from the original movie, they start a family. They have a daughter. I can't remember the little chicken's name.
Wow, because you knew all
I knew
of the
all
chickens.
of them.
You were the chicken meister.
I knew Bunty and Babs. I knew them all. I don't know this new one. There's like two new chicken characters, and I can't remember either of them. So, yeah, essentially we just see her growing up, and eventually she's like, Mama, I want to leave the island. And then we get all these, again, Ginger has traumatic flashbacks to the chicken farm when her daughter says she wants to leave the island. She remembers all of the shit that led the chickens to the island, to leave human civilization and be completely fine on their own. So she's like, oh, we don't need anything on the mainland. Fuck that.
And the little baby wants to adventure.
Yeah, and it's just like a classic like rebellious phase story, very, I wouldn't call it a coming of age, but it is very like it is
for the kid.
Yeah.
I don't know who the main character is. Is it the kid?
I would say I would say it's still Ginger. Her actions are what's driving the story, and there's a lot of like inaction of like, oh no, we can't do this. But then when her daughter's taken, she's the one that says, we're gonna go to the mainland. We're gonna get a team together. We're gonna break into this chicken farm.
I would say it's the kid though, because the action that drives the story initially is still the kid. The kid has to leave the island for Ginger to make that choice. All of Ginger's choices are reactive to the choices the kid makes.
Yeah, but that's like one choice that she makes. Because for the rest of the movie, for 2/3 of the movie, she's like in the farm.
That's true.
And she's just like looking around this fake diorama world. And it's like, this place is fucking weird. I want to leave. And they won't let her.
That's fair. That's fair. All right, so it's Ginger 2.
Ginger 2.
Hey, I remember the chicken's name.
Yeah, because I keep saying it.
Mm-hmm. Or I was just looking at you. Ginger 2.
The sequel.
That's why you relate so much to this movie. She's just like me.
She's just like me.
You're doing that at 4 years old watching the movie? Your parents are just like, we gotta get him tested.
Unfortunately, I was never tested. Look where I am now.
They just put you in a chicken diorama and let you go free. Put one of those shock collars on you.
So, yeah, that's like the first half of the movie is she leaves the island and she meets a Scouser chicken.
A what?
So the chicken that she meets, that is like, oh, we're gonna go to the chicken farm. It's gonna be great. She has like the thickest like Liverpool accent.
Oh, I don't know British accents.
Is it No, hang on.
What is so Scouser's an accent?
Yeah, Scouser's an accent.
It's so funny. Just when you were like, the chicken goes, oh, we're gonna go fucking over there, you know? Like, just meet a crass chicken. if one chicken in this movie swore, I would understand the movie. I think I would relate heavily to that chicken.
Oh man.
Well, I'm so fucking sick of this shit. These people in their cars.
Fuck them.
So she meets a chicken who's a weirdo.
Yeah.
Where does this chicken come from? Just around?
So the chicken van that like took all these chickens, she was like, I wasn't taken because I was the smallest chicken. And it's like I was the runt of the litter and they didn't want me. Well, you know, this place is like heaven. Like the only context they have is that there's a smiling chicken on the side of the van. And they're like, that chicken's having a great time. I want whatever that chicken's having.
Okay.
And so they purposefully get taken.
I was about to say these chickens are stupid, but if a van pulled up...
Chickens?
It's true. But they can speak. If a van pulled up with a picture of me smiling on the side, I'd be like, well, I gotta see what's in there.
Yeah, if you're wearing like the pink plastic and you're just doing like this.
Yeah, I'd be like, how'd they get a picture of me? But what's going on in there? Let's open this van up.
And it's just like wrist like shackles on the side of the van, and there's just dried blood.
They just hit me with one of those net guns and drag me in.
Now get his clothes.
So at least there's an upside.
So yeah, they make it to this highly fortified futuristic chicken farm.
Well, they get in the van because they go to a gas station, and the dude's like, how'd you get out? And they're like,
yeah, they get purposefully taken.
We don't know.
So he grabs the chickens and
then
like,
they're speaking in front of him.
So humans do not understand the chickens.
Okay.
They speak, but they speak chicken. Humans are not fluent in chicken yet.
Okay. That was a big confusion point for me in the movie. I couldn't figure out if the chickens can talk to the people.
I know in the first one it definitely was like, because there was a point in the movie in the first one where Mr. Tweety, like the old guy, he like looks in one of the things and sees the chickens like planning stuff. And Ginger screams like, get him, or attack, or something. And he's like, what the fuck? I think now it's more so the reaction of a chicken pointing and go, wah! And like getting jumped and swarmed by like 30 birds. I probably would also have the same reaction of, huh?
If a bird pointed at you, yeah, with hate in its heart.
Hate in its heart and venom in its eyes.
I'd start kicking. That guy's like, all right, we're going to hell tonight.
If I'm going down, I'm taking at least double digit of you
I'm
fuckers.
snapping necks left and right, pulling these little clay chickens to mush.
If you were attacked by clay birds, and you're just out in a field fighting for your life.
That sounds like a Greek tragedy. Clay birds. I don't know what I've done, who I've pissed off upstairs on good old Mount Olympus. But
all right, so they get Ginger and the team.
So the chickens end up in. I'm trying to remember the order this movie happens. They get grabbed and taken by that van.
Yeah, and they end up in like that big futuristic farm.
Right. When does Ginger learn that she's been kidnapped?
So they learn that she's been missing because there was an instance, I think, there was a moment of, oh, the humans are getting closer, like on the horizon they're seeing trees fall and they're seeing innovation come their way. So there's a meeting of like, okay, what are we going to do about the humans? And everybody's concerned that Ginger's going to, we got to take up arms, we got to fuck these humans up. And everybody's just like, I'm so fucking tired. Can we just relax on this little island? And that's her response of, yeah, we'll just keep hiding here. We just have to hide better. But while Ginger's at this meeting, because she's kind of the mayor, I guess, of the Chicken Society.
Sure, she's the Che Guevara.
President Chicken.
She led them to freedom.
The Chick Guevara.
Yeah.
Rocky is home alone with their kid and tells her stories of like, oh yeah, I used to be in like a human circus. I used to do like this shit. I was awesome because Rocky is some kind of himbo rooster who's just dumb.
He's like, listen, they used to let me hang out with Danny Glover. I got to pull the trigger a bunch. Now they barely let me be Shazam.
I forget who I am. If they,
I was like, I gotta leave my wife a voicemail.
if they just started recasting Mel Gibson as Zachary Levi and like everything, like still Danny Glover, but then Zachary Levi.
That'd be awesome. I want to see a bunch of Mel Gibson Zachary Levi roles where he's still got that stupid face.
Just his own face?
Yeah. And he's like, listen, RFK Jr. makes some good points. So you're like, all right, this is Braveheart, dog.
He hasn't been born yet.
Paint your face blue, you whack son of a bitch. It's like, you want to see me do a Fortnite dance? I'm 41 years old.
He looks great. For 41?
It's the vitriol.
I thought it was the stupid.
They're at war, I guess. They're making a perfect combination of a plastic man.
Paul Rudd has that as well, but in like different quantities, so it still equates to the same youthful exuberance, but you don't hate him as much.
No, because he has no hatred in his heart.
No, he's the perfect man.
Yeah.
What were
he's the Ant-Man.
He's also Giant Man.
Yeah.
You okay?
Yes.
Chickens. So
there's a lot of them.
Yep.
And we gotta cut down the herd, starting with these yapping ones.
So they leave the island because the little girl, the little chicken runs away, gets taken, and they're like, oh my god, we gotta go get her back, I guess.
They're like, they're gonna hide, and then the chicken's stolen. They're like, all right, we're saving my daughter. The only chicken born.
Yeah, right.
There's no other baby. Oh, I guess there's no other dude chicks, huh?
Dude chicks?
Whatever. Zachary Levi's the only rooster that can pork.
I don't know.
That old one can't get it up.
We don't know that.
We do. Because he has a cloaca, right?
Yeah.
How do chickens bang, then? I don't. That's probably gross. Never mind.
How do any birds copulate?
I don't know. Maybe it's like salmon where they lay an egg and then the other bird just like busts on it.
They are hard-shelled egg layers. You can't bust. There's nothing to... There's no like membrane layer to accept the seed.
Then I have no idea. I truly have no idea how you make a chicken.
With clay. Oh, man. So... yeah, they go to the mainland. The main team from the original movie, plus the rats, Nick and Fetcher are back. they all make it to this highly fortified chicken farm, and that's where Ginger just lays out the whole movie. She's like, this time we're gonna break in, and I'm like, I got that.
Listen, I'm ahead of you, movie. You thought I was stupid, you piece of shit chicken garbage? I already know how this is gonna end.
Yeah, and we're introduced to this dweebish little scientist that runs the chicken farm, and he's got these collars that make the chickens oh so happy.
Kind of weirded me out, to be honest.
Yeah?
I didn't like this plot line.
So they explain in their they had a little cartoon in the cartoon that was like, when chickens know they're about to die, they get super stressed, and that makes the meat tough. So if we make them happy all the time and they don't know when they're gonna die, the chicken, the meat is soft and moist. So we have these collars that make them happy all the time to make the best chicken ever.
It's just kind of, ugh. I don't know, mind control shit like that just like makes me uncomfortable.
They're birds.
No, it's a movie though where they speak. You don't have to mind control real birds.
Let's find out.
The hell does that even mean? We're gonna be out in the fields trying to clamp things around them. I want to teach your birds to be happy. He's like, all right, I'm gonna go get my gun.
I'm just gonna start killing birds, you weird scientists.
We're in lab coats and nothing else. No, I didn't get this scientist character either. This is again another children's movie where John doesn't get it. Is he funny or scary?
He's a cuck. No,
I don't think that's what they were going for with this children's movie.
No, legitimately, there's there's a so they reveal that he is married to Mrs. Tweedy, the villain of the first movie.
What do you mean legitimately he's a cuck?
Hear me out. So
Did I miss a plotline?
Yes.
A scene?
He's married to the Mrs. Tweedy from the first movie, and she makes this joke of like, chickens and husbands, the bane of my existence. And it's like, hi, I get that. She hates everything but herself and money.
Right.
But there's another character named, I think just like Mr. Knight or something, who runs a fast food chain, like a chicken fast food chain.
I remember this guy.
And there's a lot of like double entendre bedroom eyes that Mrs. Tweedy and this Mr. Knight guy make at each other about like, we could make great business together. My chickens and your restaurants. And there's a point where Mr. Knight even like pulls out a little like ring box, and Mrs. Tweedy thinks it's like gonna be an engagement ring. Like through the whole movie, she's like ready to leave her husband for this guy, and the whole time the scientist guy is just like he never even gets like an I love you from his wife, because that's not her character. But like through the whole thing, he's like so deeply infatuated, and he's just like, tell me those sweet words I want to hear. And she's just like, shut the fuck up and make the chickens die. But through the whole movie, she's like making eyes at this guy that runs just like a better business. So yeah, he's like,
but is a kid who watches this supposed to be laughing at the scientist or be scared of him?
Laughing. You're supposed to be scared of Mrs. Tweedy. You're always supposed to be laughing at her husbands. In both movies, her husbands are like dorks. She only marries losers.
But they're killing chickens.
Yeah.
He's like funny. He's like, I'm gonna murder chickens.
I'm gonna murder children chickens. No, because again, his all he does is he turns the like collars on and stuff. He's the science guy. He turns the
He built a chicken gulag.
Correct. But that's how all chicken farms look to the chickens.
What? Not in the first one. In the first one, it looked like
Yeah. It looked like what?
Never mind.
Interesting how Mel Gibson fell into that one.
I'm surrounded by chickens.
Jesus.
Here in chicken Auschwitz. I need to get out. I need to go build a perfect society. Yeah, I guess you can come with me.
It'd be a totally different movie if Rocky the Rhode Island Red was like, I don't know, this Mrs. Tweedy character's kind of got some points. Maybe chickens were meant to be eaten, but I'm a performing rooster.
Yeah, he's like, we gotta start measuring these chicken skulls.
Jesus Oh man.
So the Ginger and Mel Gibson Zachary Levi decide to break in.
Yeah, and it's just a lot of, I would say, like, again, having never seen Mission Impossible, it's like a lot of fun, like, kid espionage, you know, like they have little gadgets that they have like a suction cup plunger, like grappling hook that gets them up onto the roof.
Yeah.
They use a lot of like around the house objects as, you know, fun little espionage tools.
And I can't figure out again how much, and then because Mrs.
Tweety
hates chickens.
Yes.
And she sees Ginger, and she's like, this motherfucker.
They both start having flashbacks to, like, you killed so many of my friends. You destroyed my life. They both have...
So they know that the chickens can plan.
Yes.
So they're aware of how smart chickens are.
Or could be. It could be just this one incredibly smart chicken. You don't know.
So I don't get the rules again.
This movie is rated... this one might have been rated PG, but the original was rated G.
Yeah, and so that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to, like, dissect the rules of a cartoon, but it doesn't line up for me. Anything. Like, I don't get...
This is for babies who are tired of making spit bubbles, and you're sitting here like, what are the rules?
I just want to know if the chickens can communicate with humans.
No, they cannot. They might be able to...
Like, if a chicken draws a picture...
Yes.
They could speak.
Okay, yeah, so I guess in a written form, sure.
Why?
Why what?
Why can they do that? I don't know why this is such a hang-up for me, but it pisses me off when I watch these movies because I can't figure out how smart the chickens are relative to a person.
You're trying to find like a barometer?
Yes. Are the chickens Coco the gorilla?
I would say that in these children's movies about chickens, for the plot to work, the chickens are as smart as a human could be.
Okay.
Like, there are varying levels, like the humans. There are dumb humans and smart humans.
Mm-hmm.
The chickens. There's dumb chickens and smart chickens.
Okay.
Right?
Yes, I'm with you.
So, the only hang-up is language barrier, and humans have the size difference.
It's true. And ingenuity and machinery and guns.
And how-to-itiveness.
Yeah.
And
And
gumption.
the right to rule.
And the right to bear arms. No, this is England.
That's true. They don't have any rights there. The right to just kneel to the queen.
The
That was me.
it's a king now.
Is it?
Yeah.
With fat hands.
They look... How do you live like that?
He's full of chicken meat.
He's full of chicken meat. Every morning they unzip his back and stuff him with more chicken.
I was just saying he's eating chicken, not
Then how's it ending up in his hands?
It's like swelling. He's probably a drunk.
Leading this country so hard.
Yeah. He's got to make no decisions and be paid a lot. What a horrible existence.
I fucking hate royalty.
Fat Hands McGee over there signing another check for another chicken movie. 1 million more pounds of clay.
He's specifically paying Aardman Animations. He's sitting there clapping his fat hands like, more chicken movies, more Wallace and Gromit.
That's why they couldn't make a chicken movie until she was dead. He didn't have the power. The second he's in office, he's like, one more chicken movie.
Wow, they turned it around fast.
I know. I have one change. Zachary Levi. I love chickens and Shazam.
Oh my god.
So they meet up with this kid.
Yeah, they eventually all...
Chicken World.
Yeah, they eventually all meet up, and there's some very impressive, again, like any art form, you know, Leica Animation is trying to do new stuff with each of their movies. They're blending CGI and stop motion pretty seamlessly. You know, I think The Missing Link was, you know, visually very impressive. It was hard to tell where CGI ended and the actual stop motion began.
I never saw that. You know what I did see? Kubo and the Two Strings.
Do you like it?
I don't remember it.
I liked Kubo.
I think Matthew McConaughey's in it as like a bug samurai.
Yes.
And I thought that was pretty cool.
that's one of the few things that started leaning, because I've not always liked Matthew McConaughey, but that was one of the few things I saw where I started leaning more towards like, okay, I can understand. It took me not seeing his face.
So there's impressive.
Yeah, there's impressive stop motion animation going on here. They end up trying to escape. There's a brief moment where Ginger has the collar on. Her daughter gets it off, and there's this moment of everybody's trying to save everybody because now they're all trapped in the chicken farm now, and so everybody takes turns being trapped. And they all end up in a big silo of corn, and I thought that looked incredibly impressive to have that kind of sandy kind of, you know, running grains through your hand is like not aesthetic, but like that look for stop motion. I think that looked incredible for stop motion, and they end up using heat to make the corn explode into popcorn, which I don't think is how real corn works. Correct me if I'm wrong.
What?
Real corn what turned into popcorn, or is popcorn its own kernel?
No, real corn turns into popcorn.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's popped corn.
Yeah, but it could have been like a different grain.
No, it's corn, dude.
Okay.
Listen, I have no evidence to back this up, and I don't know how chickens are made, so I could be totally wrong.
You're speaking with confidence.
That's the story of my life. Know nothing and nod.
So, yeah, it's just like them fumbling their way out of an escape because they keep... One of my hangups with this movie is that the group is like a little big. I get wanting to keep all the characters because it's like, oh, we're all concerned. We all want to go help. But like after a certain point, they're really like juggling. Like I forgot that Fowler was in this movie, the old rooster, because they left him on the roof as like the getaway driver in their little hot air balloon.
Right, he's talking to a snail.
Yeah, he's like old man rambling, which was...
What's the joke? The snail can't get away because he's too slow?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is the snail on the side of the people?
The snail's just a snail, dude.
I legitimately thought the snail was on, like, trying to kill the chickens.
Huh?
I thought he was on the...
He's just a snail.
I thought Fowler had to distract him.
No.
Oh.
No.
I couldn't figure out why there was a snail all of a sudden.
Fowler just found something to talk at.
I thought that was... They were like, you're important. You're an important part of the plan. Talk to that snail. And I was like, why?
No, you're an important part of the plan. Sit here with the blimp while we go and do the actual mission.
That makes more sense. I kept waiting for the snail to get his comeuppance for siding with the humans. I was like, they're gonna put the snail in the Nugget machine. This fucking race traitor.
Throw the snail in the Nugget machine. Oh, man.
Like, I legitimately, I was like, and then I was like looking closely. I was like, I guess he looks a little evil, right?
He's a fucking snail.
He like
dude.
scowled a little. I was like, yeah, I knew it. I knew he was.
He just hates this fucking bird that won't shut up.
Bro, I guess me and the snail are buddies then. Never mind. Story of my fucking life. Into the Nugget machine with a lot of them.
Yeah, like early on, Nick and Fetcher, the rats, are also pretty important because it's like, here's a bunch of shit we stole. Here's a bunch of our stolen goods that we peddle to you.
That's why I thought the snail was on the humans, because it's like, it's not chickens versus people, it's animals versus people. But this snail's hanging out in the humans' base, so he must be in on it.
Now, to be fair, the snails are like invertebrates. They're barely animals.
If he has eyes and a mouth, he's an animal.
Then why aren't the humans and chickens friends? They both got eyes and mouths.
Oh, fuck, you got me there.
Why must we eat the things with eyes?
Good job, chicken run lawyer.
It's like the Bee movie. You never saw the Bee movie?
I think I did. I don't know. It was like a really big like internet thing for a long time.
Yeah, the third act of that movie is like a legal drama.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, the bee, Jerry Seinfeld bee is suing the humans for taking the honey without, like, consent. It's like the actual...
Wow. This was a movie?
Yeah, this was a movie that DreamWorks made.
Nothing but quality from that studio.
They had
I can't believe people don't respect animation.
What's the deal?
I wasn't doing Jerry Seinfeld. I was doing fans of cartoons. That was you.
DreamWorks was rough for a solid. They had like 3 flops back to back that almost bankrupted them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then didn't they also do like Saving Private Ryan?
They did American Beauty.
Oh yeah.
That was way before they started doing like mid animation.
Oh okay.
Like that was around the time they're doing like Prince of Egypt and like which is considered like one of the most beautiful 2D animated movies of all time.
Okay. So they start fighting humans.
Yeah, and then they steal a chicken truck and leave.
They throw
Oh,
a woman in the nugget machine.
yeah, and then she comes out all crispy.
I thought she was dead. And then when
Yeah.
she comes out crispy, I was like, this is actually pretty dark.
How the hell, like both times in both movies, she's like crammed into her own machine and should be dead. She gets thrown in the fucking gravy vat machine for the chicken pie. She gets exploded, but she's just sitting there with like the Looney Tunes, like
Yeah.
exploded hair.
Pissed me off, man.
Like we talked about that, just like a single boot lands.
Yeah. Or like her guts.
They're not going to show human guts in a kid's movie.
She comes out fried, and then there's like a machine that just dices her into nuggets.
Yeah, so she comes out.
And then like the dude she's trying to bang is like eating them, and he's like, these are the best nuggets ever. He doesn't even realize, and he like looks down, and he's like got hair in his mouth. He's like, oh my god, there's people.
And he
you
keeps eating them.
Sick fucks. And he turns, and like that little scientist dude is like, my beloved, and then he gets shoved in the machine as well. And then like the SWAT team shows up.
The American SWAT team.
The Blue Angels.
We're here to shut down England.
Just glass the entire fucking valley.
These are incredible rewrites. We got to get in touch with Jacob Ardman.
Listen, Ardman, your movie's confusing, and I don't know how smart the chickens are, but I know all of them lose to an F-16.
You know what chickens don't understand? Hand grenades.
They think it's an egg, they sit on it, and then blow up butthole first.
So yeah, they all take turns being in peril. There's a certain point where they're almost shoved into the nugget machine, and there's like this fun little family dynamic of like the father, mother, and daughter all work together to vanquish Mrs. Tweedy and shove her. It's weird to me that she kept her ex-husband's last name.
He took her last name.
You think?
Yeah. Where's he? Wasn't he your favorite character from the last movie?
The actor passed away between the two movies.
Oh,
so
okay. He
for
fell
the
into a gravy machine.
for the story, they were like, it's easier to just like write a new husband character than it is to like try and recast. I feel like they should have done that for Fowler as well. Like the old guy that played the rooster, he passed away between movies. I feel like it would have made sense if like, oh, a year later this old bird passed away.
Yeah, they give him a Viking funeral.
They ship him out on that little lake.
They burn him up. That's how the humans fight him. They're like, smelly chicken.
Yeah, it was that. It smells fucking delicious.
They just watch them to get torn apart and eaten.
Yeah,
Barbecued.
Like, across this little lake, the little boat makes it ashore on the other side, and there's just ravenous, just businessmen in suits, just
Come from the bushes, just in a full suit.
yeah.
Tear a chicken to shreds.
It's you tearing a rotisserie chicken to shreds.
Oh. So that's Chicken Run.
Yeah, not like they make it back to the island. Some of the chicken, the new chicken friend that they made, I can't remember her fucking name.
Tweaker.
Yeah, she also joins them on the island, and it's like, well, all's well that ends well, and now we know that the humans truly are the worst.
So, you don't love this movie like you do the first.
No, and again, it might be a nostalgia thing, but I genuinely think that Aardman just makes, like, fun movies. Like, I had fun with it. This is the second time I've seen it.
But it doesn't click with you as much.
Yeah, it doesn't click with me as much, and I can't really put my finger on it because, like, the new characters I think are fun. I think the plot is fine. I think the like emotional beats that Ginger hits as a character are really solid as like a new mother that's worrying about her baby, who's, you know, she's also like dealing with, you know, her nemesis again, essentially. But yeah, something about it, and it could just be that, like, in 4K super high definition, it doesn't, it looks different. There's like a general change in style from. I mean, Aardman has a very iconic animation style with those wide mouths and stuff, but like, I don't know. It could literally just be like a color palette thing. Like maybe this one was too colorful. Take me back to the chicken camp. I don't know. Like I don't know. I genuinely don't know what it is.
All my life, I just wanted to escape, and now that I'm out, I can only think about going back inside.
Every time I think I'm out, they keep pulling me back in.
And I didn't get it, and I never will. And that's not a dig at the movie. It's me. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Like honestly, like. There are some other like animated movies, like if we ever get to, we will get to more, but when we get to other ones, if you say you don't get them, that's when I'm going to start raising an eyebrow. But like these are genuinely, like this is a G-rated children's franchise. Aardman Animation makes the most like saccharine, family friendly, like I love their stuff so much. Wallace and Gromit was very influential to like my early days as a human being, but like if you say you don't get Chicken Run, I'm like, yeah, okay, because like you're confused about like the rules of the world, and in my head it's like it's a kids movie, they can bend whatever rules there may or may not be.
But if they invent rules for the world, they should follow them.
It's a kids movie.
I don't understand it.
They can do what they want, whatever services the plot.
You know what I do understand?
What do you the other bird?
The crow.
This bird?
That's cool.
I flipped him, the bird.
And I respected him for it.
Go ahead, because you liked this one.
I did. That's the thing. When I first saw the trailers for this, we're talking, of course, about The Crow 2024.
With Bill Skarsgard, FKA Twigs, and others.
Previously, we've talked about the original Crow.
Oh, so good.
We didn't talk about any of the sequels in between, which are famously terrible if you've seen any amount of it.
I think I saw like half an hour of City of Angels, and I was like, huh?
Yeah, you're like, all right, get this out of here. My body's rejecting this.
I'd rather watch reruns of Jag.
But the trailers for this came out. They've been trying to make this movie for a while. Like, I don't even think Bill Skarsgård was the original guy. I don't know that they originally had someone. It's one of those things where I think it's sort of back and forth.
They started conceptualizing it without anybody teed up.
Yeah, and I think it took a while to get a script, and it took a while to get it whatever. And when the trailer finally dropped, I thought, well, that doesn't look very good.
I also thought that.
And I didn't think it looked terrible. I just didn't think it looked great. And I was like, uh-oh. And then reviews dropped, and they were like, it's real bad. And it's like 2 weeks after Borderlands, and they're like, it's worse than Borderlands.
That's not true.
And so I went in with very low expectations, and I didn't mind it. I dare say, I've seen it twice now. I liked it.
Yeah?
And I seem to be the only person on planet Earth, besides my brother. Him and I saw The Crow when we were little on Netflix or whatever. We saw The Crow 30th re-release when we watched it for the show. And then we saw this one together. And we both came out and we're like, I didn't mind that. That wasn't terrible. And you did not like it from what I hear.
I think I gave it like a 3 out of 10. And again, this could just be my expectations of like based on the original. And this goes into like there's always a fine line with remake territory, because like John Carpenter's The Thing is a remake, but it's also like the quintessential version of that.
Yeah.
The version at 2014, 2016, the other
2011, I think.
Yeah, the other remake of The Thing, like that's got no sauce. That's boring to watch. So like the Middle Child remake is the like quintessential version.
And I'm blanking on it, but there's other instances of that too, where like it's like technically a remake, but it becomes the version.
Freaky Friday.
Okay, I haven't seen that.
That's another specific example, and that's actually an episode idea that I wanted to do of like the Middle Child is the best one.
Okay.
Because there was like an original Freaky Friday from, I don't know, the 80s or something, and then they remade it in the early 2000s, and that's like the version,
Mm.
and then they remade it again. I think maybe only a couple years ago, and that again didn't do well.
Interesting.
So I shouldn't have gone into this having recently seen the masterpiece that is the original Crow. I should have gone at this with like a fresh perspective, you know, no preconceived notion about what would happen, because in the trailer it's like, okay, she's dead, he's dead, but he's pissed and comes back. And there's a lot of like explanation, supernatural shit that they talk about. I'm waiting for that to happen. It takes like 40 minutes.
I do remember that was my initial thing with the trailer. I said, oh, they're doing backstory, which is something they do a lot of times when they do remakes.
And you hate that shit.
I hate it. And so I was going into the movie, I was like, there's going to be an hour before we even do Crow stuff, huh?
And there was.
There was. And that's the weakest point of the movie. However, as I was watching it, I wasn't hating it. I wasn't too invested, but I didn't think it was terrible, which is like when I saw it a second time, I saw it with my girlfriend. She thought it was terrible. She was so bored that first hour, and she thought like Bill Skarsgard and
FKA Twigs.
Yeah, had no chemistry.
Agreed.
I didn't think they had no chemistry. I thought they were both awful people. Like not bad people, but like if you knew this couple, they would be the worst people you know. They would be so annoying. They'd be just like high or drunk all the time, always looking to get high, and they're always just like, oh, we just live on whatever, man. Like they're lucky they got murdered so they could be cool, because holy shit. But I liked I not liked is the wrong word, but I didn't mind it. The villain being supernatural hurts the movie a little bit, because when he's not the supernatural thing, then it's like sort of old news. Like one of the best parts of the original Crow, and it's hard to watch a remake fully removed from the original, obviously. One of the best parts is all these gangsters running into someone supernatural. And every time they have a revelation about who he is, or they see what's happening, you know, they try to kill him and it doesn't work, their world is changed permanently. And they freak out over it. And that doesn't really happen in this.
There's one moment, there's a dude sitting in a car, and he's just walking past this dude in a car, and he's just like, I killed you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
And he's not, like, that character is playing it cool, and so you don't get any of that catharsis, which is like, if you remember in the original Crow, when he finally kills T-Bird, and T-Bird's the one who was like reading scriptures when they killed him originally and everything. He goes through all the stages of grief. There's points where he's like bargaining, and he's points where he's freaking out, and he's going, we killed you, man. You only get one shot. Like, you're not supposed to come back. Like, one and done. That's the rules. Because seeing this dude in front of him makes him realize that he might have to suffer for everything he did in life. Like the idea that hell or heaven or afterlife might be real because of this dude. And we never get an answer really on that. It's not like a Christian religious movie. It's more just like a...
Where are they now? Hell.
Yeah, like the idea that I'll pay for what I've done in this world destroys him right before he's about to die is an awesome moment of catharsis for this horrible, horrible character. Like his fate. And you don't get any of that in this movie.
No.
And so I understand everyone's issues with it, and I don't think it's better than the original or even holds a candle to it. But I do think it's odd that it got such low reviews, because I thought it's a decent time.
My issues with the film are that the first one starts so quickly. It opens with them dying.
Yes.
So taking 45 minutes to get there in this movie... Because they show us like 3 different montages, or just 3 different instances of, oh, look, they're in love. And it's like, I only need like one of those, I guess. If you're gonna do that, like, and I get they had to do all the setup with her character to be like, oh, she's got this phone with incriminating evidence, but I guess we're not. Should we try to run through this movie?
Yeah, we can try, because it opens with a flashback to Eric
Draven,
who will become the Crow, his childhood, where he sees And it's edited a little strangely. He's a child. He sees a horse of his wrapped up in barbed wire, bleeding to death.
I immediately hated this as we opened.
Really?
Because we're not in the gritty, grimy city. I'm like, I don't care about the countryside with a horse and a trailer.
And he looks at a trailer, and then we cut to him asleep in the present. And then we cut back to him as a child. And then we cut to his mom in the past, asleep.
In the trailer. Presumably.
Clearly nodding off on sort of like it looks kind of like an overdose nod off, or she's just from
narcotics are involved.
You can frame she's an absent sort of drug addict mom, and he lives in poverty. And the horse is wrapped in barbed wire and dying, and there's crows lining up on top of the trailer. And he tries to pull barbed wire to save the horse, and it slices his palms open. And then we cut to him as an adult with scars on his palms. And then we go title card. And it's like, okay, this is a little out of sequence as far as timeline. Surely this will have relevance.
No.
It does a little bit.
This movie does not have a horse motif. It has a bird motif.
It's true. I'm not watching the horse. I'm watching the crow.
It should have been his pet chicken run wrapped up in barbed wire.
And then we immediately cut out of... I think the title sequence is kind of sick. All that blood over the person and the tattoos you're seeing. All his tattoos and everything.
Yeah. Like, I'm not saying this movie doesn't have cool moments or cool shots. I'm just saying it's a lumpus for me.
Interesting.
It's got, like, lots of cool bits, but it ultimately culminates in, like, if I never see this movie again, I'll probably be a better person for it.
Better?
Yeah.
This movie damaged your reputation karmically. But
that's a lumpus.
And then it just hard cuts to a train in Detroit. I'm assuming we're just in Detroit again. And we go to FKA Twigs, Shelley, receiving texts from a friend who is like, I sent you the video, which is kind of going to be the MacGuffin of the film. It's a video where we don't know for a long time what crime is on the video, but we know it incriminates the main villain.
There's lots of screams of like, what did you do to her? And
yeah. And so she's like, we got to get out. We can use this to take him down. And then very quickly, that friend is immediately murdered, or not murdered, is immediately captured by the henchman of the villain. And Shelley runs into the police, so she gets thrown in jail because she's also getting tracked by a henchman, and that keeps her out of...
She's safer inside.
Yeah. And she is sent to...
They catch her with drugs, so they send her to rehab.
And it's the weirdest rehab. It's like, we sentence you to... It's just the... It's not a prison, because they're not like in cells. They're in very much like rehab clothes and rehab, but they eat in sort of a prison environment.
The facility, like the food and the guards act like it's prison,
but they're not like they walk around kind of wherever they want. They
have therapy sessions, group therapy sessions, solo therapy sessions.
Yeah. And in that rehab, when we cut there, we now see adult Eric with his scars and his tattoos, and he's getting like yelled at by the other inmates / patients about how he won't do nothing and he won't speak. And then we cut to then we cut to therapy, and the therapist is saying you need to choose life, and he goes, Hemingway said.
Yeah.
Which is such a funny, I don't know if that's intentional or not, but like choosing life from a dude who famously blew his brains out is so...
I honestly thought it was I thought it was played completely straight, but I thought that was the dumbest choice. Again, because like famously,
yeah,
he ended his own life.
And the way it's framed is like it's a serious quote, because we're sort of leaving the therapy session as he's saying Hemingway, blah blah blah. Hemingway said that this, so it's not like cut like a joke. So I don't know if it's tongue in cheek at all. But it's clear that this rehab is being framed as not working, so maybe it's intentional to be like, oh, the therapist is giving you this is like, we got this dude off BetterHelp, like
Jesus. Yeah.
And then they meet. Shelley and Eric meet, and I'm going through this pretty quickly, but their meeting happens slowly. Eric finally speaks, and it's like 20 minutes. And it's just long, and you're like, you think this is going to be them meeting and falling in love, but it's not.
No. I genuinely I like the scenes in the rehab.
Mm-hmm.
When it's them meeting for the first time and like they're eating together, or you know they're hanging out doing, you know, like I was like, okay, this is a slow burn of a romance because we know they end up together.
Did you like their when Shelly's showing up and she's like telling the terrible corny jokes and they're like cry now, cry later? Because I didn't mind it. My girlfriend got disgusted. She was like, ugh, when they started speaking. She hated their dialogue.
I think it's the most like not pretentious, but like it feels like a meet cute and a Hot Topic.
A little bit, yeah.
Because like I think one thing, some people that I know that are fans of the original, older generation, were turned off from the trailers because, you know, it's, you know, a couple people who are covered in tattoos and stuff, and that's just what punk is now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, because the original one, it was, you know, very punk aesthetic, very, you know, anti establishment, but the establishment was like the gangs running the town and stuff. But
I have a theory about his look, actually, in this movie. So the original Crow had that face paint, right?
Yeah.
And does that whole thing. And that look inspired the wrestler Sting, right? Who got the white face paint and the black and everything like that.
Yeah.
He just took the Crow's look. It happened. That wrestler Sting mentored for the last couple of years another wrestler, Darby Allin, on TV, who's a Seattle guy, actually.
Okay.
Darby Allin has exactly the same haircut, or did, and has tattoos all over his face and looks a little bit like Bill Skarsgard, and would wear this big baggy hooded jacket that when I initially saw the first promo picture of Bill Skarsgard in this, I said, that looks exactly like Darby Allin. And also wears this pink puffy coat with like fur, which he wears later in this movie. His is bright pink, but it's like similar enough where I legitimately wonder if Crow inspired Sting, inspired Darby, inspired Crow.
That would be incredible if that's true. This movie would get points from me. That would be awesome.
Because, and like even some of the tattoos are a little bit similar. Like Darby has these like words right on his sternum that are kind of like, or like eyes and stuff like that kind of line up a little bit with the tattoos they've done. And his whole thing is about death and stuff like that. So it looks a little overlapping to me, but
yeah, I think the dialogue works in the movie because the movie is, because we talked before how like we're tired of these like postmodern tongue-in-cheek wink at the camera. This movie plays it earnestly.
That's what it is. That's why I don't mind it, because none of it feels self-conscious.
No, and that's why I do think the dialogue out of context could, like, written on a page, I could see where that could be like a ew kind of a thing, give someone the ick or whatever kids say. I don't know. But no, the movie plays it earnestly, so I think it works.
Yeah. Okay. That put into words kind of what I was going for too. Like, it's an earnest movie, and I think that's why I like it so much. It feels very, very like hard on its sleeve, for better or for worse, which is what I've been missing from movies. Mm-hmm. And so then they go back and forth, and they realize, oh my God, the bad guys, henchmen, have found her in the asylum, or whatever this is, the rehab.
It was like the bad guy's henchman and her mom was there.
Yeah. And so they decide to escape, and they cut off these ankle monitors they have, which again just kind of confuses whether or not this is prison or rehab or what level of involuntary this is. Mm-hmm. Just because at one point they're doing like jumping jacks, and he's getting screamed at in the face like it's prison because he's not doing them well enough. But like the guy doesn't have a baton. He doesn't have like any of your classic like prison guard things. So it doesn't feel like he has any power.
No, and the guards are just like taking shit from people. Like, there's a moment a guard is walking up the stairs, prisoners coming down. Looks like he just got out of the shower or something. He's got like just pajama pants on, and he's like drying his hair with the towel. The guard just takes the towel from him. It's like,
which isn't like rehab. That's like just like dickhead prison guard shit.
Yeah. So again, like the establishment is treating itself like prison, but they're telling you it's rehab.
Yeah, and so it's a strange. You can't really figure out what it is. It feels very comic booky, like a comic book evil, which I guess is true to the source material, maybe, or like true to the spirit of the source material.
I would be very. I've never read the comic ran for like a decade.
Yeah, I mean,
I've never read any of them, but I would very much love to like eat my own words. And it's like, oh, this is actually the most 1-to-1 adaptation of The Crow ever. He never had the mime face paint in the comics. Like, huh? I've been wrong the whole time.
I would be like, nah, overruled. But they escape, and then they run into the world, and then you're like, okay, well, now they're friends.
Yeah.
So now they need to have a montage, another 20 minutes of them falling in love. So we need to see them go to a building, start banging, start having little back and forths where they're swinging each other around. Oh, have you ever loved anybody like me? No.
Kissing through the gossamer curtain. They're sitting in a bathtub together.
And there's a couple weird shots in this too, where like Eric does all these like scratchy like schizo drawings, you know, it's kind of like clearly it's his trauma coming out. But when they're sleeping together, at one point the camera turns and pans down to one of those drawings, and it's like a man like with all this black behind him, and it goes like brrr, like it's a big deal. It has no relevance to anything. It's not a prophecy. It doesn't look like the Crow. It doesn't look like the villain. I have no idea what the point of that was.
She's a little stick guy.
Yeah. At one point, he throws down she gives him that black jacket that he's going to wear later, and he throws it on the chair, and the camera pans down to it and focuses on it. And the only reason it does that is because we know he's going to wear it later, but it's just a weird shot. It's like, oh, there's his signature jacket. Like,
he does get some face paint later, but it's just the eyes.
And the mouth. And the cheeks.
Oh, and yeah, but I mean, like, it's not like the white with the black.
No. But that's because then they'd cover up all his face tattoos.
He's already a pale, ghoulish figure as is. Was he doing an accent in this movie?
Occasionally.
Yeah. Bill Skarsgard is currently like 1 out of 3 for me. I liked him in It. I hated everything about Boy Kills World, and I did not like him in this. So I don't know if he's a Nepo baby, because his dad is a very good actor, Stellan Skarsgård, but like I gotta hunt down more Bill Skarsgård, because it's like there was something in It. There was something in Pennywise that worked. I gotta see if he's got that juice anywhere else, because this was not it for me.
End of the year, he's Nosferatu.
Oh. I'll watch that.
Me too. And it's by Robert Eggers, who did the Witch and the Northman, and
people love those.
I like the Witch a lot.
People love the Witch. I've been told I wouldn't be able to handle it.
I don't know. I honestly don't know, because you don't have any real like I'd be interested in how you don't have any like religious hang-ups.
No.
And it's a big thing in there. But it does speak to some universal stuff, so I wonder.
I was not raised religious. Like, neither of my parents are religious, but my dad often talks about there's 2 movies, or there's 2. One's like a little short film, but there's 2 things that like get my dad in like any religious nerve he might have left: The Exorcist and the Charlie Brown Christmas Special. When Linus like gets on stage and starts quoting the Bible, my dad's like, it's just like a kid speaking so from the heart.
Yeah,
like that means a lot. That's
what I really liked about The Exorcist. Is that the religious beliefs in that movie work? They just cost everything.
Yeah. Oh my god, what a fucking great movie.
So The Crow, we're intercutting, by the way. As they're falling in love, we're also intercutting to the villain, just kind of showing that he loves when people play piano.
He's whispering into women's ears.
And he can make you kill yourself if he whispers in your ear. And because he's possessed by a demon, or he made a deal with the devil, and so he can live for hundreds of years as long as he keeps sending innocent souls to hell by whispering in their ear the spell, and then they kill themselves, and while they do that, they go to hell.
Which, like, that's like very low level supernatural stuff. Like, it doesn't, from what we can tell, it doesn't give him supernatural strength.
No.
Like, it doesn't give him any kind of, it's just, It's very Faustian. It's the Faustian bargain
It's
of
just you can live forever.
yeah.
As long as you keep feeding me, you get to live. And so they finally are in love. They're out with many degenerates, just weed smoking drunk losers, saying it never has to end. And then when
It ends.
she reveals she can't play piano because of something on that video. And then the dude who made the video shows up at a nightclub to tell her, hey, our friend is dead, the woman from the beginning of the movie.
They found her in the river.
And I'd like to point out something about this scene. She's about to play the piano. She freaks out. So they go out on a bridge together. And he's in a t-shirt. Eric's in a t-shirt. Then they cut down the bridge. He's in a big puffy fur jacket that was hers at the beginning of the movie. So
I didn't notice that.
yeah. And then they cut to a nightclub to blow off some steam. Then she meets the friend there, so she has to run from the nightclub. And when she pulls him out of the nightclub, he leaves in a different jacket, which means she freaked out. He said, okay, babe, let me grab your jacket real quick. It's going to be cold out there. And then they're like, all right, babe, let's go blow off some steam. But first, we got to swing back home so I can switch into my club jacket. And I was losing it in the theater at the idea of your girlfriend having a miserable time. And you're like, 1 second, I got to go get 2 separate jackets. I'm not going to be caught looking bad. I respected the hell out of it. But then, like, if it sounds like we're spending a lot of time, it's because the movie does.
Yes.
And then finally, after this, they go back home and they both get killed. And we reach the point that the first Crow movie started with.
Honestly, I do like I don't want to say I do like how they are killed, but like it's graphic and different enough, you know. They get like the bags over the head suffocated, and it like that's freaky.
It's really brutal. The way they die is I'll also like I like how they die just because it's horrifying.
Yeah.
It's a horrifying death. And because you see the breath slowing and they can't breathe as they're strangled out just under the plastic bags. And he's just screaming, please don't do this as they're killed. And he's like trying to say Shelly through the bag. It's horrifying. And
it works.
It does work.
They die.
It works. And it's like the first time the movie's like really working.
Mm-hmm.
And then he wakes up in the ghost dimension. And we get a whole backstory from an oddly Greek haircutted man. Like he looks kind of like Socrates or something like that, about how he can set the wrong things right. And again, this takes a little while, and his line deliveries are awkward and weird. Where is this place? And
because he can't act.
And he wakes up on the floor, and Shelly's body is gone, and a dirty cop we saw once shows up to find the phone. He's looking for the video, and he tries to kill Eric. And I like this fight scene because it's sort of like Eric's still getting his sea legs. He just woke up from the dead, and he's just like trying to stab the cop as the cop's trying to stab him or choke him out. I don't get how choking works on a dead guy because he's not breathing. He doesn't need air. What's going to happen to him?
I don't think the cop understands what is happening, so he's just like...
No, I know he's choking. I'm saying, why is Bill reacting like he's being choked? Why is Eric Draven? I guess he's not. He's like it hurts, but because you can feel, they say he can feel all the pain, but he throws him off. So I guess that's why choking doesn't work, where normally it would. But in this brutal fight where they're just falling all over this garbage house, covered in blood and junk, he finally kills the dude, and he realizes he can't die because he has to shove his guts back in.
Oh, yeah, that
got you?
That got me. Yeah. Pushes his guts back in and his body sews itself back together. Gross.
Was that getting you, though?
Yeah, but again, it was just like 10 seconds on the screen of just pushing his shit back in.
Push his shit back in, Eric.
Yeah.
And he just immediately is like, oh, I gotta go kill people.
Sent by God. I got a mission from God.
And so he goes with the he goes to the tattoo artist that he knew, and he's like, I need a gun. And the tattoo artist is like, what do you need a gun for? And he's
Never
like,
mind.
and then he just is like, all right, fine. And he just moves one box and he's just got a gun right there. And it's really funny to be like, hey, listen, man, I don't know if I have a gun. All right, you got me.
It's behind the dresser. It's just like,
Not even. It was in a record case. It was just in a record case in a bread bag. Take 1 second to find. But Eric starts his revenge in a fly-ass offset zipper jacket with a wide brim hood. And it like looks cool as fuck. But he doesn't look like the Crow.
No.
And that's when we meet the I killed you dude.
I think the like fluffiness of the coat is meant to look like feathers, maybe.
Oh, maybe.
So he's supposed to look like a literal crow.
Woo.
You should have put like a big mascot head on him.
Yeah.
It's me, the Crow.
And he kills a dude, and he sees the other dudes, and he immediately runs to go kill them. And they all are immediately like, he's alive. Like, they learn that he has the power to not die. And so and they tell the villain, and so all the, like, the fun of this movie is everyone learning he can't die.
Oh my god, he can't die, but like, it immediately runs up the chain of command. Because, I mean, like, there weren't cell phones back then, but there's cell phones nowadays, so anybody that lives can call him. And all the mysticism or all of the mystery is taken out of the Crow, because the bad guy's also like, ah, shit. Like,
I've been alive for 600 years.
The bad guy's not scared.
No, he's like, you're telling me magic's real, brother? I know. I speak it.
I'm Magic. Johnson.
And so, I mean, again, it's kind of brutal when he falls out of the car and he's got to pop his bones back in and everything.
That car fight for the 45 seconds that it lasted was fucking awesome.
Like when the driver gets a bullet through the cheek but is still alive, so has to correct the steering wheel.
Yeah. That fucking ripped. And then it was over.
It was over.
And then, like, I was sat up and then it ended and I was like, oh.
And then he goes to the mom's, or I think he first went to the mom of Shelley, and he learns her connections because that's how he ends up at that building.
Yeah.
But he looks into Shelley. He finally finds the video of her, and he learns that she was magicked to kill someone. So his heart wavers, and he starts doubting her because she's a murderer. And this starts something I like in the movie, which is that deep down, he's a really sweet guy.
Yeah.
He can't fathom killing someone. And so the fact that he killed that driver, it's on accident. Like, the driver jumps for a gun, so he flinches and the gun goes off. But he's so distraught that causes his heart to waver against Shelley. And I thought that was actually nice. I thought that this dude
is very sweet.
And so when the henchmen come in, they beat him up, and they kill his tattooed friend in front of him, and he sees his brains get blown out, and he's just, like, lost everyone now. He gets shotgunned in the chest, and he falls into the bathtub.
Full of water for some reason.
And he dies. Because his heart has wavered, and the immortality was based on the love remaining pure.
Mm-hmm.
So he's back in the Crow world, and they tell him, all right, well, you lost your chance. Because originally, if he got revenge, they would both come back to life, which I didn't like. Because something I liked originally about The Crow was that there's no payoff. There's no saving, because it's a year later. Like, they're buried, and a year later he gets revenge. There's no upside. You get revenge, but you are dead.
Yeah.
And this movie was going to say, hey, you get to come back, which I didn't love. But he loses that. And so then he makes a second deal, which is my soul for hers, which I did like, because that's an interesting twist. The blessing doesn't work, so I'll take the curse.
Yeah, it felt desperate, and it felt right. As an avid, like, D&D player, there are lots of different, like, character classes and archetypes and stuff that make deals with higher powers like that. And that's how a good, like, I guess, warlock patron would work. They get their powers from, like, devils and demons and, like, fairies and genies, and not gods, but, like, magical things that are more powerful than just people. And, like, that felt like a really good, like, dramatic bargain. You know, like, otherworldly bargain.
And so there's a cool line. He starts like bleeding black from the eyes, and the guy says like, "With this black blood, go set the wrong things right," or something like that, and shoves him back into the world of the living. And he comes out of that bathtub, and it's clear like a couple minutes have passed because the bathtub's now red with the blood from his shotgun wound.
But like the guys that killed him aren't gone yet.
No, but they're clearly like having this back and forth. Like, we killed him. He doesn't have the power you thought he did. They're like running that up the chain of command. And he gets up and he murders them. And he murders them brutally.
Now the movie is actually like kicking in the third act.
This was something. It's taken about an hour and 20 minutes to get here. And this is something, leaving the theater with my brother, he said, the movie's kind of half and half. We both liked it. But he said, when it starts, when he gets out of the bathtub. And I said, I agree. Like, that's the start of the movie. Is because he shotguns a man in the head.
An hour and a half in, the movie starts.
He blows another dude away. And then the final dude who lived through the shotgun blast, he just beats to death with the blunt end of the shotgun. He's just beating his head in. And then we hard cut to him sitting down smoking a cigarette next to one dead guy and his dead tattoo friend. And he doesn't care about the dead tattoo friend. Like, he's like very nonchalant.
When he pulls the cigarette out of his mouth, it's like, here, hold this, and puts it in the dead dude's mouth.
Yeah. What did you think of this?
Of all of it?
Of that cut. Cutting from beating the man's head into this nonchalant sitting.
It felt very stunted, but at the same time, it's like, it was probably like a coverage thing of like, how are we going to get to the next point of the movie?
I liked the cut.
Yeah.
Because it felt like his humanity was gone.
Almost like a punchline to the brutality.
Yeah, but not in like a jokey way, just in a, like, right after he makes the deal, right? Like he's traded his soul away. He wakes up as inhuman. And so, like, his friend, who he just saw shot to death and was screaming on the ground, like, he was so distraught, he now doesn't even register as a human anymore. Like, he doesn't register as anything. He's just an avatar of revenge. And I loved that transition.
Yeah, I think it worked.
And so then we get the final moments, the build-up.
He gets a sword.
He's sword, and he starts painting himself with tattoo ink, and he has this tattoo that says "Cry Now" and was gonna say "Cry Later" in this cursive font, but didn't get finished until because he was dead. And so he finishes it in like really jagged his own handwriting. He can't do cursive.
That looked cool.
I thought it looked cool too.
Yeah.
And it says "Cry Now, Cry Later," and he paints himself with the tattoo ink, and I just thought it was awesome.
My issue, again, I think this is when the movie kicks in.
Mm-hmm.
My issue with, even when the movie is cool, CGI blood.
Uh-huh.
Like, that's, I think it looks better than some instances of CGI blood, but I still can't, like, there's a scene where when he's fighting dudes, he, like, breaks a dude's neck.
Yeah.
On, like, the ground. That looks CGI.
Uh-huh.
Like, a lot of the kills when the movie kicks in are just fine. Like, the choreography is cool.
Yeah.
It is choreographed very well.
Because when he's painting himself up, he's going for the final confrontation.
At an opera house.
The music kicks in, and it's like the only needle drop in the movie that works. Like, there's so many weird music choices at weird points in this movie.
I only liked one, and that was the credits song.
Oh, I love this, like humming song that's playing as he's getting ready.
Oh, when the opera is actually going on. Yeah, no, I agree.
But, like, leading up to that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And he's walking up to the opera, and he draws his sword, and he starts killing all these dudes, all these guardsmen. And the two henchmen of the bad guy isn't there, but his, like, two lieutenants are. And they're hearing over the radio that he's killing them. And I loved this fight scene. Even with the CGI blood, even with everything, I just love that he won't stop and it just keeps going. Like, as we're intercut with the opera building and building.
Keeps climbing up the same single staircase. That he turns a corner, it's the same staircase.
Because he's going higher and higher.
Yeah, but, like, they're using the same staircase. They're just reframing.
Whatever. I liked it.
Yeah, no, like I said, it's choreographed very well. I agree. Like, I don't think it overstays its welcome, but I like that it was long.
Yeah, that's okay. The same thing, because it's like exhausting, but he's getting exhausted as he's doing it, and the enemies are getting exhausted.
And he starts like slipping. There are points where people like stab him on his own sword, and then like he's like, "Well, shit." He's like trying to pull it out.
Yeah,
because he's getting exhausted.
and
That
he's
works.
falling over, and that like there's one point where someone's shooting into him, and he's just shooting back and screaming, and so by the end he's covered in, and he's bleeding black.
Yeah.
So by the end he's covered in black gunk, blue or red blood, and then like just like wounds and tattered everything, and he's like slipping all over all this body fluid. And then when he finally kills the final guy, there's some brutal kills. He shoves a sword through someone's jaw. He pulls someone's eye through a knife. He finally cuts the final dude's throat or whatever. And we're close on his face, and he's crying. He's not full on tears, but like eye drops, like watery eyes.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I like. I like this really fragile dude who's just feeling that
he's feeling everything,
and that he's gone. And so then he goes up to the final lieutenant dude, one of the two dudes, like the dude who actually killed Shelley.
Yeah.
And that dude tries to kill him, and it doesn't work. And he tries to kill himself, and he cuts off the dude's hand, and he cuts off his head. And he goes to talk to the woman in the room, and he's holding the head. And it's brutal. And I loved it.
He kills her too, and when he learns that the main bad guy, the supernatural villain, isn't there, and it cuts to the finale of the opera, and everybody's doing their standing ovations, doing bows, and he saunters on to stage like the biggest dick energy in this movie, and he just holds up the heads of the lieutenants.
Yeah.
And like people start like freaking out. He tosses them into the audience, and people start fleeing. And then it cuts to him like in a car driving away.
Well, he grabs white lilies from the ground, which is what she had said when he had talked on the bridge with her. She said, "Leave white lilies at my grave." Like they were joking about killing themselves on the bridge, and she wanted white lilies left. And so he takes white lilies to that bridge. But when he saunters onto that stage, he is fully gone. And he's staring in the crowd, and he kind of sees her. He sees a ghost of Shelley, sort of.
Yeah.
But he just seems, it's just so awesome. It's just such an encapsulation of this version of that character, just being, because right before he kills the last woman, the other lieutenant, she says he's just like the villain, and you know that's kind of a cliche. Like you're just like, but what she says about him, I like, which is he says, "Oh yeah, like how are we the same?" She goes, "You hate everything inside yourselves. He's just better at hiding it." And it cuts to his face again, sad but covered in blood, and then he cuts her head off.
I did like that. Yeah. Again, it's like you're gonna have those instances, like a good story. There's gonna be some parallels between the protagonist and the antagonist, but the way you illustrate that, you know, like her explaining, like again, I don't think that would have come across if they had tried showing it, like cutting from Bill to the villain, but her saying like he's better at hiding it, like that. I agree. That was a very good line.
And so then final confrontation with the villain at his mansion. There's a woman who the villain's been listening to play piano that doesn't appear anymore. Like we don't know if she died. We don't know if the scene got cut.
Yeah, because they're like when he's introduced, he's talking to this woman, and it's framed very like predatorily.
Yeah,
because like they framed the villain as a predator.
I thought he was either gonna kill her for youth, or in the final scene when the crow enters the mansion.
Yeah.
She would be playing piano for him for like an ambiance thing in another room, and he would look at her and she would freeze, and then he would go past her, which is again kind of cliche, but that's what I was expecting. Like, I've got no quarrel with you, you know?
Right.
That doesn't happen. Instead, she's just out of the movie. She doesn't, and he meets the final villain, who again has some lines that aren't bad, where he goes, he's like, "Who are you?" kind of.
Yeah, I mean, again, like, regardless of the quality of the script, it's delivered well by the antagonist.
Where he says, "I'm just an old man.
Yeah.
But I'm flesh and blood, unlike you," and he cuts himself to show that he bleeds red. And then he goes to stab the crow, who's kind of having some back and forth on like why, like we died kind of for nothing, you know, like this guy doesn't even care that we're dead. And he says, "You don't feel anything at all." And he's like, "No, I feel everything." And he gets stabbed again. A line I like. And then the villain does the whisper in his ear, because the crow's heart has wavered a little, obviously. And he starts doing a spell to take the crow's life force and power or whatever, live longer. And we're having flashes through Eric's brain, and this is where the beginning plays in. Because what saves Eric is he starts remembering as a child. He starts remembering that dying and the horse dying. He's remembering that video of Shelly killing, and now in the vision, Shelly's killing him. And then we're seeing the trailer, and then we cut to the trailer burning. And the trailer is where the crows were. And it kind of implies to me that he killed his own mother, or like his mother fell asleep with a lit cigarette and died or whatever.
Yeah.
Not killed her, but obviously didn't save her, because you're seeing like this boy just watch his mom burn up. And then as he's seeing, when he finally finds the strength, he sees the horse rise up. The horse is back from the dead. And to me, it's the reason, like we joke, it's not called the horse, it's called the crow. But like the crows are the revenge, and the horse is sort of that like personal savior, that like growth, that love. Like he doesn't find salvation in the crows. It's the other animal, the animal he couldn't save before. To me, that was just sort of, so it kind of tied it in a nice bow for me.
I guess.
I'm the only one who's liked it, so if you disagree, you disagree.
Yeah. So the hero and the villain are tussling, and then they go out a window and end up in Crow World.
Well, they go through a mirror.
Oh, is that it?
It's like they shatter through this mirror, and it falls into Crow World, yeah.
They end up in Crow World, where... Because, like, Eric can't overpower that. So I guess the villain does kind of have some supernatural strength, but only in the Crow World? Because the old man's fighting back against...
Well, he stabs Eric, and he's got the vision, and then Eric just picks him up and throws him into the Crow World.
Okay.
And then they're just falling together face to face. But then the second he's in Crow World, the old man tries to swing at Eric, and Eric's gone. And he's doing the thing where he's like appearing behind him and stuff like that.
Like the mentor character was.
Yeah.
Which was also really weird for me to, again, crossing the threshold, meeting the mentor 45 minutes into the movie.
It's true. And then he shoves the villain in, and the villain, he's like punching him in the face, just beating the shit out of him. And then the hell starts taking back what it's owed, basically. So it's pulling the villain to hell. And he says, "You have no idea what hell awaits you." And then he says, "Yes, I do," and shoves the villain to hell. What's weird is in the trailer, I remember him saying, "No, I do." And it's a better line. And so they must have two takes of it, obviously. But why'd they use the fucking worst one?
Maybe it tested better with audiences.
Sure.
That one line change tested better.
This raised it from 4% to 6% on Rotten Tomatoes.
God.
But so Shelly's saved, and then Shelly learns that Eric can't go back. And I think it's a touching moment when she wants to stay with him, but then she's pulled back to life.
Yeah, and it cuts to when they were first murdered in their apartment, and then they're sitting there like the first responders are like resuscitating. And
the mentor's there as a paramedic, but I think he's there still as kind of like a ghost.
Yeah.
Because he says he fought hard for you. Which
is a great, like, double meaning line. Like, I think the line is he fought like hell for you.
Yeah.
Which is so good. That's my favorite line in the movie.
And then they pull out from dead Eric Draven, who's, like I said, I like there's no coming back. Like, it's done. Finality of that. And we see Eric has a little voiceover like he did at the beginning, where he basically says, "I'll see her again one day, but for now, it's almost enough." And I think that's a sequel setup.
I'll live on in, like, her memories. Like, I'll live on in her kind of a thing. And it shows her with, again, some of their friends at, like, a camping site or something, and she's dancing by the fire.
That's a memory, though.
That's a memory?
Because he's watching her. But it shows her singing in front of people again, which she couldn't do.
Okay.
And then it shows him walking off as the crow, and it goes to credits. And I think that's a sequel setup. Like, they were going to be like, he'll be back as the Crow.
Better fucking not.
He won't be. His movie didn't make money, and I'm the only person on Earth who likes it.
Even then, would you like a sequel?
Yeah. I've seen this movie twice, and I'll see it again.
How would a sequel work though? Like, no matter how great a movie is, if the story is tied up in a little bow, leave it alone.
Yeah.
How would a sequel be good?
He's got to stop the demons.
He's got to stop the demons.
That demon that worked with the villain still exists.
Sure.
It's revenge time.
Hey, the devil wants revenge on you, so we sent an avatar to kill Shelley.
Okay. I'm in.
No, that's dumb.
The Crow 2.
No.
One ticket, please.
It's stupid. Oh, God. So, another major hang-up. Sorry, I fucking peaked. A major hang-up I immediately had with this movie's coming out of it was, in the original Crow, he still had, like, friends and allies on Earth. Mm-hmm. He still had, like, the little girl, Ernie Hudson. He had nobody in this movie.
Tattoo Man.
Tattoo Man died.
Yeah, but he had him.
Tattoo Man was in like 2 scenes getting the tattoo and I need a gun. And then the 3rd scene, he dies.
Yeah.
Like, that's not much of a character. I didn't even know that Tattoo Guy was the same character.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a weakness. It doesn't have any of the grit or the connection or the beauty of the first one.
Because, like, what part of what makes, I think, the original Crow so great is kind of the mystery of your protagonist.
Yeah. He's
just kind of this ethereal presence of revenge. And you have, like, the Ernie Hudson character who's investigating. Who's like, what the fuck is this guy? What is going on? And I'm locked in with Ernie. I'm like, yeah, what the fuck is he? He's rubbing a light bulb on his head.
This movie needs more cigarettes. This movie would vape. This movie would have elf bars.
God. Zen.
So, Chicken Run versus the Crow. I think we're on opposite sides of the fence here.
Again.
Yeah.
No.
You'd like the Crow more than Chicken Run 2?
Well, no, because I said again, but I'm thinking about the first episode because I like the original Crow and Chicken Run 1 for different reasons. But that's
they're kind of hard to compare.
Yeah.
But if we put them in an episode together, so pick one.
Fucking birds. Yeah, I like Chicken Run better.
All right, what about Chicken Run 2 versus the Crow remake?
Oh no, that's what I meant. Is I like Chicken Run 2 better than.
Oh my God,
the Crow.
Not me, dude. This is nothing. I can't watch a children's movie, but I can watch The Crow 2024 again. In theater, like I'll watch it on streaming probably, but in theaters I could watch it again. Easily.
I want to move on.
You want to move on, like from this life?
From this episode?
Oh, okay. Cut the feed.